Hey everybody, Weezem here. We are back after 4 in the morning, early Thursday morning, June 19th. This will be our final upgrade video for Spyrise. Sadly, I forgot to switch this off camera, so bear with me. We're going from Spyrise to Spyrise. Mind-blowing stuff here right now. That said, this is the Spyrise in the packaging, Spyrise number 2, the one that I didn't use in the playthrough. He is currently upgraded on the top end down Shock Spy. That's basically, the one where we've got the charge bomb and everything. What we're going to do now is take Electro Tech. Initially, I thought Shock Spy should go with Fire Tech because you've got charged up top, spammable on the bottom, and then Web Spinner, which is spammable up top, would go with Electro Tech, which is charged on the bottom. That said, I just went ahead and did spammable, Web Spinner and Fire Tech, so we're going to do chargeable, Shock Spy and Electro Tech. So if you're going well rounded, you probably want to do it opposite of that like I initially thought to do, but I'm tired. I'm all about keeping it simple right now. So Fire Tech we just recorded, pretty dadgum cool, and you can just spam it infinitely. Electro Tech, this one, it seems to me like it's got potential to do massive damage. I don't know that it will, but it certainly sounds that way. Gain new pulse cannons that shoot electro energy at enemies. I've got high hopes for this one. And if nothing else, I think it's going to look cool. So, first purchase upgrade, bear in mind I've got the 18 wing sapphires working in my favor. That's why it's 960. Hold A to charge a laser blast. Release to shoot a massive wave of energy at enemies. So, I'm hoping massive is not an exaggeration here. We'll back out of here and get our first look at it. We interrupted his sneeze, so you're welcome. Let's see what we can do. Alright, so we're going to hold A. Yeah, okay, so he's charging it, right? This should hit the guy. 50. And then we go up in the air automatically. Let's see the range on this thing, if we can't go across that dummy. Yeah, it's going to have way better range than the torch. Can we go through dummies? Let's try to line that up. I don't know if you can, actually. Jeez, that's hard to aim. Somehow, I thought I would be going through all three, and it looked like it chained off to hit the one far away. It did that time, too, so let me monitor that. Yeah, I don't know what it's chaining off that direction for. Nonetheless, this one does do way more damage. Granted, it's not as fast, and it's got a charge, but 50 to 75, that's a significant number. Now, let's try to get a count here. It's basically a 1 second deal. And then, yeah, I mean, so it's not going to be as quick, but it's just like the Shock Spy. It's really not that bad. Now, if we were to scan someone fully, let's see what we're going to do. 65, I'm assuming that would be standard. You never know, sometimes I fire off criticals. Alright, so 65, half of that would be 32.5. That would be 97, 98, so 65 to 98 scans. And that, like I said, very significant damage there. So we'll come over this direction, and we're going to pick up, I believe, Advanced Pulse Cannon. I believe is what it's called. That is correct. Advanced Pulse Cannon for 1280. Increased damage of Pulse Cannon. At least this one isn't experimental, right? That's actually true. Props to whoever worded that one. So everything else has been experimental. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and grab this Soul Gem, Omega Sky Laser. Hold Y while in the sky to shoot down a massive laser that stuns enemies. Price $22.40. He's got 911 as an emergency, and he sneezed to celebrate his win. So, seeing a pattern here with this guy. Nonetheless, I'm excited to see the damage numbers here. He went over Gorm there, and very few Skylanders can do that. Alright, so we were putting out pretty good numbers, 50 to 75. Let's see what he is going to do now. 70. The question, of course, is... Okay, so that's probably our standard number. And if that's the case, we would be doing 150 7,105. That's very significant numbers there. So 7,105, and then the question is, what are we getting when we're scanned? I know I was hitting that, but I wasn't paying attention. 91. Let's see here. 137. Alright, so he is putting down a hurting on these guys here, so very impressed with this path here. And again, you really, I mean, here's the top end. You really don't have to charge it that much, you know. And then, I mean, you're going to go up in the air anyway, and you can just reactivate it. So it's really going to come down to if you want instant gratification with something spammable. That would be Web Spinner and Fire Tech, or if you don't mind the higher damage and maybe a little bit more strategery, if you will, with Electro Tech and Shock Spy. So, that said, what do we need to showcase now? It's that pesky Soul Gem. It's the Omega Sky Laser. So sometimes I have a hard time getting this thing to work. We can go up in the air. There we go. 12 to 18. He's got pretty. Let's check his range out on that. I didn't really do that last time. So you get the idea. He can probably move that just like he could elsewhere. It's basically 15 hits, roughly 5 seconds, 12 to 18 if you're scanned, like you see over here. You're going to go up in the air, come down, and you're going to do the 15 to 20. So that is that. That is Spyri's fully upgraded down Electro Tech. Again, really, every path he has is pretty good. It's just a matter of, do you want spammability, or do you want kind of something that hits harder and isn't spammable? That's really your only decision here. Again, it probably, I think the best combinations would be what I thought initially, like put Web Spinner with Electro Tech and put Shock Spy with Fire Tech, and then you kind of offset everything. That said, if you prefer the spammable nature, you'll want to do Web Spinner and Fire Tech. If you prefer the higher damage numbers and don't mind the charge, or you just kind of like more of a strategical character, do Shock Spy and Electro Tech. Obviously up top we're going to be slowing the enemies, and I haven't really gotten a feel for that just yet in the training grounds here, but factor that in as well. But it ultimately really comes down to, do you want to have something that hits harder and a little slower, or something that's going to hit faster and be spammable, but hit with less, you know, damage output? So that's your decision there. Again, I'll have kind of my summation there on the post. You can get to the post by taking the link at the top of the video description box. It'll take you to the page dedicated to Spyri's. You'll see his base upgrades, all 4 of his upgrade paths, my exclusive spreadsheet which documents all of his attacks, damage number by damage number. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Similarly, make sure you are subscribed. That will keep you up with all the latest. But about 4:30 here, I'm going to go ahead and sign out, probably get to bed. Up next is either going to be Wind Up and Countdown if I go Newlander, or we might potentially come in and do really my 2 most anticipated upgrades, which Rattle Shake and Night Shift. So Undead is coming, and of course Newlanders and Undead as well. We've got the Tech Newlanders as well, so just kind of going to depend which route I go there, but we'll figure something out. I'm very excited for all of that stuff, and then of course we still got a couple of the water element people to take a look at. So nonetheless, thanks for watching. Again, make sure you're subscribed. That'll keep you up with all the latest, and I will catch you back here for whatever it may be that we actually wind up recording.